Kawasaki's Jake Weimer stand just points apart with 2 rounds to go. He's got the race win here at Chase Field for Dungey. Jake Weimer wins Anaheim 1. Which of these gifted young riders will claim their first professional title? Round number 7 of the Supercross Lites West region gets underway right now on Speed. Pro Circuit Kawasaki's Jake Weimer got the 2009 Lites West Coast Championship off to a great start by taking the win in Anaheim at the season opener. He would go on to 3 wins so far this year, but he did have problems in Phoenix. That opened the door for Ryan Dungey and the Rockstar Makita Suzuki to get the first of his 3 wins. Dungey's last win gave him the most momentum as he took the victory in San Diego, the race right before the big break on the West Coast. Tonight, it's Monster Energy AMA Supercross at FIM World Championship. The Lites West Coast Championship's penultimate round takes place at Qwest Field in Seattle, Washington. Hi everybody, Ralph Shaheen along with Speed Zone Supercross Series champion Jeff Emick, and this championship has been a great one. Jeff, both riders in the championship fight, the points leader Ryan Dungey and Jake Weimer, 3 wins each, but they've had this huge break. Who does that affect the most?
Well, I think it gives both riders a chance to reflect on the early part of the season, to do the work necessary to make the changes that it is necessary. Also, it's time for them to ramp up the intensity. 2 races to go. Weimer, it's pretty much a must win. He's got to win these next 2 to win the championship. But let's don't forget last year for Ryan Dungey, where he had the points lead and it dwindled away. This is redemption time for Ryan Dungey. So which 2 riders will get it done? We're going to find out here real soon. But I'm telling you, both these riders, they want it bad.
Well, let's show you the point standings coming into the round here in Seattle as to where they stand. Dungey, just a 2-point lead over Jake Weimer, and Ryan Morais not technically out of it yet, but he is 11 markers back in 3rd. Well, earlier today during the pit party, we had an opportunity to catch up with Ryan Dungey and Jake Weimer to talk about this very intense championship.
I think just ride. I think to push as hard as we need to. You know, I think there's no reason to ride. You start thinking about it out there, and start slowing down. I'm just gonna ride like I know how, and obviously, if I got it wrapped up, and then maybe tame it down a little bit. But hey, we'll worry about that when the scenario comes. So.
I mean, there's not really much of a strategy because the points are so close that one of us is gonna have to win. Like I have to win both races, so there's really no strategy. So I just have to try and get the whole shot and try and win both times.
There is Jake Weimer on the number 19, the Pro Circuit machine. 5 heat wins this year. Jeff, he's got to keep on that winning mark. As you mentioned, he's got to win both mains really to claim this title.
Yeah, Jake has to keep the intensity up. He's been doing all the work necessary. The team's been extremely happy with him. He has got to go out and make a point here and get this track figured out because he didn't quite have it in the qualifying practice. He was a little bit off the fast pace. Here's his chance to redeem himself.
Into the first corner. And it's going to be Morais taking the whole shot as a couple of riders get knocked off, including the 63 of Chris Blos. And so it's Weimer's teammate, the man who's 3rd in the points, who's got the early lead. Weimer, meanwhile, is buried deep in the top 10. Jeff, the top 9 will transfer straight to the main, so it's very important that Weimer at least gets into that transfer position.
Yeah, Weimer's up to 8th right now. There went your leader. That looks like Michael Hall running 2nd. Look at these whoops here. By the end of the night, they're going to be non-existent. I'm telling you, this track in practice broke down tremendously. Right now, the track workers have got the track together. It's all smooth and new. Everything looks nice. Pay attention to how it looks at the end of this heat race, though.
Weimer has already climbed up to 6, so he would be in a transfer position. Of course, where he finishes now in that top 9 will impact his gate position for the main event, Jeff.
Well, in gate position here, you want to be on the gas. You want to have opportunity to get that good start, which you didn't get here in this race. And if you do that in the main event, that's what helps keep you out of all those problems, you know, with the other riders. And you got to get that whole shot. This is championship time for Jake Weimer, and he's going to have to get a better start in the main to have any shot at winning this championship.
He just got around Jeff Alessi on the 801. That'll move him up to 5th. Weimer was 4th quickest in practice qualifying today. Now he's closing in on Dan Reardon on the 122 at Geico Power Sports Honda.
Here he is to the inside.
Tries to get him. Can't get the job done in that corner. Tucks back in as they go over the finish line jump.
He was just so quick through that turn.
Actually, now that's Johnson. He is fallen a spot to Reardon. So Johnson, Ross Johnson on the number 8 MDK Motorsports Honda.
Yeah, Weimer just came through that section of whoop so much quicker than Johnson. He didn't anticipate it being there now.
Got him, and Johnson's
Whoa.
off. Johnson off into the tuck blocks. Had himself a transfer spot. He's stuck in there. And unfortunately for Johnson, a great start just goes away in a hurry.
Such an impressive ride for Ross. Now he stalled the engine even. Oh, heartbreaking. Looks like Rapaglia's stuck there too.
Yeah,
Watch
on the 138.
Johnson come through the whoops right here. He gets his weight to the right side, gets a little hookabout, gets a front wheel twist. Weimer goes flying by. Then he gets locked up on that tough block. Tough break.
Here is Morais on the 116. 3rd in the championship. Mathematically still in the hunt and doing everything he can here to get himself straight on into the main event.
Morais is definitely in the hunt, okay? No doubt about it. He's there. We've said it all along, though. He's going to have to win a main event. There's two opportunities left for him to put himself in a sweet spot here going into next week.
Well, Morais has 4 second-place finishes this year, Jeff. In fact, he has not won anything. He hasn't won an LCQ, hasn't won a heat race, hasn't won a main. He can start a real good trend right here, right now by winning his first heat.
That would be the confidence booster that he needs, okay? He's absolutely flying right now. He's at about a 54.9. Pretty good lap. Now, the track's going to get quicker through this. The end of this heat race into the next heat race, the track's going to be a little bit faster. You see some of these berms starting to build up, some of the ruts, some of the lines. When the track is new, the bike's sliding around quite a bit. And you can see right now, it's just starting to, plus this whoop section here, Ralph, is going to completely get a line down the middle where it's going to be like a freeway. It's going to be a big rut instead of a sequence of whoops.
Well, we saw that even during practice qualifying. Now, the crews went out there and they do fix the track over the course of the night, but there's only so much they can do, and that was definitely one of the bigger problems.
Yeah, definitely. I'm telling you, this track, you can see the ruts on the face of that triple. Now it's different. These are loose, sandy ruts, not the hard, the deep, sticky ruts that maybe you would find, at like a muddy race. So it's a bit different. And it appears that there could be good traction out there, but there's really not. The bike's really sliding around. The riders also, in some of the turns, are actually using the rear brake to slide the bike around, slide the back around, instead of really getting into a rut and pivoting with the front wheel.
Here's Morais, who has just taken the white flag. Remember, the names you see highlighted in green are the ones that hold those transfer positions, and that will be the top 9 straight to the main.
Well, and for those of you that are semi-colorblind like me, yeah, top 9 is going to make it, right?
And Weimer has moved himself up to 3rd, Jeff. He's gotten around Dan Reardon.
Well, he's put in a phenomenal ride, and, he's working his way through as we take a look at his teammate Ryan Morais here, who's having just a spectacular start here to the last couple races of this season. But, Weimer, maybe the nerves are getting to him. You blow that start, you start to wonder, what's going on. But now he's certainly putting in a good ride, getting into the main.
Checkered flag and the first heat race win of the year for Ryan Morais comes here in Seattle. Watch this. Oh, big problem here.
That was Michael Hall. He was running second. He came up short there on that last double.
All in the 164 Star Racing Yamaha. But Morais is going to the top step of the podium. We'll talk to him in a minute.
monster pro circuit Kawasaki bikes. Just amazing. It got me off to the hole shot, and I just put my head down and charged, and that's what I've been working on, and looking like it's working good so far.
Congratulations on your first heat race win of the season. And another note for you guys, you're going to notice that the defending West Coast champion, Jason Lawrence, is not racing here at round number 7. He wanted to be here, but due to the aggressive ride that he had at Jacksonville, Florida, the FIM decided it was too aggressive and endangering other riders. He was suspended for this race and also fined $2,000, but this might not be where the punishment ends. The AMA is going to review his probation, and they're going to make a decision if further action needs to be taken, and that announcement will be made on early next week, probably on Monday. Tough break for Jason Lawrence. Back to you guys.
There you see the 30-second board for heat number 2. And our first look at Ryan Dungey as our starting grid rolls across the hat at the top of your screen.
Well, what we're going to pay real close attention to is these lap times. Morais, 54.9. Weimer, a 56.3. He was off the pace from his teammate. Dungey was the fastest qualifier. Let's see if he can continue on here in this heat and keep that momentum rolling that he gained at San Diego.
Here we go, heat number 2. And it looks like the whole shot's gonna go to Jimmy Albertson on the 47. Dungey is at the tail end of the field, Jeff.
Wow.
He got caught up in a first turn incident, and he's about 4 bikes up from the absolute last position.
And that is not a good position in, but look at the start here. A couple of the Troy Lee Designs Honda guys, but here's the replay. See, here's what happens. Dungey, he gets touched on his right side, and then Brayton.
Oh, Brayton got taken out.
Brayton's up here. Dungey.
It looks like it was a 350 of Ben Evans out of Boise, Idaho, who caused the problem with Brayton, and then Brayton just like bowling for riders went right through the pack.
That's what I was talking about in the first heat race, is the start that Weimer had. It's championship time. You have to get out front. Heat race or main event, it doesn't matter. Now look what these riders are having to do. Weimer did a good job of coming through the pack up to second. Can Dungey do the same thing? Okay, you get caught up with these other riders that are out there battling. They don't care if you're in the championship fight or not.
He is up to 9th already, so he's at a transfer spot. This would be for 8th.
And the big thing here tonight is this is a track that Dungey was superb on in practice. He was quite a bit faster than everybody else, especially some of the guys that are down in the lap times. He's trying to work his way through here. These guys made a lot of mistakes compared to Dungey. If they make the big mistake at the wrong time and catch Dungey, that's a real bit of bad luck. So you talk about those starts, you can make yourself luckier by getting a better start, okay?
He gets one more as he gets around Sean Borkenhagen. That'll put Ryan up to 7th.
Another one of those Troy Lee Honda guys. This heat race is stacked.
There goes another position. That's Costella. That should put him up to 6th.
Oh, Costella goes down.
He gets around that. That was Derek Costella.
Next in line is McCrummon. Oh, look at McCrummon. He's getting squirrely.
Yeah, McCrummon's having issues keeping that thing headed in the right direction. And that's where you talk about Dungey. Look at he pushes Dungey wide, doing everything he can just to hang on.
Let's see if McCrummon, he holds the line. Good job.
There
That makes a little mistake there.
And Dungey capitalizes. Now we got a battle for the lead. If it's Moss is up front now on the 42. Jake Moss having a good run here in heat number 2. And here comes Trey Canard, the former East Coast Series Lights champion, who now sees that number 1 plate move over to Christophe Pourcel, who wrapped up that championship a few weeks back for the Monster Energy Pro Circuit riders.
Well, and this is really a tale of two teams here, as you've got the Geico Power Sports Honda here that Canard's riding for, which is the Factory Connection team. They've won championships. They've been around for years. I mean, they really have done a great job. Troy Lee Honda team, this is a new team, and they've got a lot of interesting things happening. They've got some young riders. David Pingree, former Lights rider, main event winner, is the team manager. There's a lot of cohesion going on with that team. I had an opportunity to fly up here with those guys and have a lot of fun. That sort of fun translates into having a good time at what you're doing. That allows you to ride a little more relaxed. And that's what Moss is doing.
Here comes Canard, though. Canard, head down, hammers it, takes the lead away. So Trey Canard now moves himself up to the front, and Canard
he goes down.
Canard, big problems.
Hands the lead back over. This is what I was talking about, Ralph. This track will reach up and bite you. There just is no hold.
And Albertson gets by, and Canard stalls it. Dungey goes past as well.
Wow, that is frustrating. Canard was on the gas, really had some flow going.
Looking for his second heat race win of the year was Canard. Not to be. Moss now out front looking for his first heat race win. And look at this, here comes Dungey. The Rockstar Makita Suzuki rider has battled his way up to the front after a horrible start. And now Dungey taking a shot.
And remember, Ralph, one more position here. He could possibly have a better gate pick than his championship contender Weimer, who was second in the first heat.
Here he comes, Dungey, trying to get around him. Albertson holding on to second for now. Moss out front. Dungey sitting in third.
And what a ride this is for Albertson, who's coming back off of an injury earlier in the season, missed a bunch of races, really having a great start here in Seattle. I tell you, I can't say enough good things about Troy Lee's team. They have done the work, and now they are competing on the biggest stage in Lites Supercross.
Dungey doing everything he can
Let's
to get around him. Here he
inside.
comes, he's got him. Dungey gets Albertson, that gives him second place. And on the final lap,
but look at the racing. Look at when these guys are bar to bar. They are all over the place, Ralph. And this is set up for a great main event.
It's going to be a very interesting main event. And two riders, as the checkered flag gets ready to fall for Moss, two riders who have not won heat races do so here in the first two heats of the night.
Here's the pass for the lead. Canard stealing it away from Moss. And just two turns later, this is just after the pass. Now watch the front wheel here as he goes into this. Just gets it over the top of the berm. There's a little rut with a little cushion on top. Got into the cushion, laid it down.
And Jake Moss takes his first heat race win of the year. We'll talk to him when we come back.
Winning Supercross championships ain't easy. Takes
By Kawasaki. Back inside Qwest Field here in the Pacific Northwest. Great family night here in Seattle, as it always is in the Supercross. Here's our results from heat number 2. And another first-time heat race winner this year. Jake Moss and boy, Dungey and Weimer are going to be awful close to each other in the gate lineup in the main event.
Ooh, it's going to be good.
Let's go to Aaron.
By no means was Jake Moss going to buckle under pressure, having a defending East Coast champion riding down your neck. Jake, take us through exactly the pass that happened between you and Trey Canard.
I kind of stuffed up one of the corners, and he just snuck through the inside. And, I'm just pumped. I got a good start, and I'd like to give it up to Troy Lee, C-Span, PPG, Honda, Bob, Troy, Ping, all the mechanics. I love them to death, and my family back home, I miss you a lot, and can't wait to see you.
Congratulations to you, but stay tuned, because coming up, Jake Moss is going to be our VIP pit pass.
We'll check out that VIP pit pass in a little bit. For now, let's take you to the highlights of the last chance qualifier to find out who are the final two riders to make it into the main.
Well, and Justin Brayton was starting way on the outside here. He knew he was going to have to get the jump out of the gate to have any chance of qualifying, and he did not.
Chris Bloss, on the other hand, on the 63, put himself in a transfer position and led the majority of it for the Troy Lee Design team.
Yeah, and his teammate Sean Borkenhagen had the second place all the way through, and Brayton was just buried mid-pack.
Could not make things happen on that KTM. Brayton just struggling. And at the checkered flag, it was the Troy Lee guys, Bloss and Borkenhagen going on, and Brayton, unfortunately, misses his first main event of the year. He's in the middle of the top 5 in points, so that's going to be tough for him. And there you see Bloss and Borkenhagen going on to the main here tonight. Getting closer to the start of the main event from Seattle here on the home of the Supercross Lites. Speed, stay with us.
Supercross, speed. Go, let's go, let's go. Hey, Supercross, bring back on speed. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Hey, Everybody's gonna be there. Say what? My friend of yours from everywhere. Say what? Oh, what a time it's gonna be. Say what? Let's check it out and see. Say what? That's it. That's it. I quit. And go away. Yeah. Supercross, you're not gonna speed. Let's go.
Some of the fun in downtown Seattle. We've had a great time here in the Emerald City. Let me show you our Toyota moving forward schedule of upcoming events. We're moving on to Salt Lake City next week. And then, of course, the finale here on Speed from Las Vegas. And if you want to come out to any of the events, go to supercrossonline.com and get your tickets and join us at the stadium. Well, we've been talking about our VIP pit pass all night long. It's going to be a good one.
Hi, my name's Jake Weimer, number 42. I ride for Troy C-Span PPG Honda. If I had a stage name, it would probably be Jake the Snake. I really wish that I could be a professional surfer. I shouldn't have said that, should I? My favorite movie is Gladiator, and my favorite actor is Russell Crowe. To pass the time in airports, I usually listen to my iPod or get on the laptop and call people back home in Australia and see what's going on. The one thing I wish I could eat is California burritos. They're so amazing. But it's not my diet. But I try and get away with it sometimes. One thing people misunderstand is I come across shy and it might be rude, but if you get to know me, I'm a really nice guy, and anytime you want to talk to me, it's cool. I'm Jake Moss, and that was your VIP pit pass.
Jake Moss and the entire Troy Lee design team doing a great job tonight. See what they can put together here in the main event as the riders start making their way into the game. The world's fastest motorcycles tear the track on Speed. Can't all the two-wheeled excitement from Road Atlanta. AMA Pro Primetime, Saturday night, 10 Eastern, only on Speed. We'll be right back here on Speed from Seattle. Main event time for the Lites West Coast Series.
Only 2 episodes remain.
Soon we will be crowning another Bull Run champion.
Hey. Whoop, and the Final 4 must risk it all.
It's time to go.
Here in Seattle, Washington. Let's go right down to Aaron Bates.
Defending East Coast Lights champion Trey Canard stated to me earlier that his West Coast experience has had way more downs than it has ups. He said, for instance, his heat race, he keeps getting himself in some sort of mishap, a little bad luck, a little bit of misfortune, but just when he took the lead away in his heat race from Jake Moss, he lost his front end, fell victim to one of the many rocks that are here on the Qwest field. But he said he did do exactly what he set out to do, and that was to make it into tonight's main event.
Well, his best finish in a main event so far this year, Aaron, was a 3rd in San Francisco.
Yeah, well, and as we take a look at the track map here, you see that there's 12 turns on this track. There's tons of rocks, really loose dirt, a lot of ruts. It is going to be tough in the main event as the track is totally going to go away.
You can hear the engines coming to life in the starting gate. 15 laps for these 20 riders. Brian Morais, Jake Moss, both getting their wins in the heats tonight. Defending winner Ryan Dungey. Boy, he could really use to repeat that here tonight, couldn't he?
Well, our championship contenders, they need to get that start. Ryan Morais, he sets 3rd in the championship. This could be his night to grab that first win and possibly get up there and mix it up for the final round.
Got the first heat race win earlier. As you take a look at our progressive starting grid, there's Dungey on number 10, Morais on the 116 right alongside of him. Jake Moss on the 42, and there is Jake Weimer, the other man in the middle of this championship battle.
And what a night it's been for the Troy Lee Honda guys. All 4 riders in the main event. Very impressive.
Here we go, main event from Seattle. Big stack up, and it's Dungey that comes out with the early lead as Dan Reardon had the whole shot, but the lead is going to go away for Dungey.
And that's Morais on the Kawasaki. He's in 3rd.
But Weimer is back just barely inside the top 10 as Dungey has a big advantage in the points chase for now. Dungey to the inside, trying to take the lead away. Over the triple jump, they go bar to bar, and into the next corner, Dungey reasserts himself at the top of the field.
Finally makes it stick as Jake Moss was just totally going for it this first lap. Look at Dungey, though, trying to take control of this championship.
And he's got a big lead over Weimer, who's back in 7th place. And everybody starting to pack up behind him is going to slow down Weimer even more. And Weimer said, Jeff, he's got to win these 2 races.
Well, there's no doubt about it. He sets back in 2nd. The points leader now out front. This is one of those tracks, though, that the riders are racing really hard, and it can get very difficult. Our top 4 is totally stacked up. Look at that Canard. You know he's hungry. He wants to make up for that fall in the heat race. Come out and try to win a main event here.
And we talked about what a big night it has been. We talked about what a big night it has been for the Troy Lee team. And here's Moss sitting in 2nd place, about to give it up to Morais, but he comes back to the inside and retakes a position away from him.
And as these riders battle it out here, that's going to allow Dungey to slip away just a few tenths of a second, give him a little bit of breathing room. That's exactly what Ryan Dungey wants at this stage of the race. He wants to do his own thing. Let the other guys duke it out.
Already a gap of 1.2 seconds, and Canard gets inside of Morais. Great move by Trey Canard. And quickly, Morais shuts the door back on him. Takes the spot right away.
Incredible action here in Seattle. As you see Morais, oh, he comes up short on that double-triple. Keeps it on 2 wheels. He really is putting in a fine ride, along with Jake Moss.
Let's go back and take a look at Jake Weimer. And Jeff, he's in 7th position right now.
He's behind Jimmy Albertson. Weimer not really moving forward like he needs to. He needs to make it happen and make it happen quick.
Fight for 2nd is still a good one. Morais cuts back to the inside on that Monster Energy Pro Circuit Kawasaki and has the spot over the finish line jump for this lap. Here comes Canard too into this fight now for 3rd. And Trey Canard jumps his way in front to take 3rd place away from Jake Moss.
And look at Canard there on the gas, almost sliding out, coming across the start straight. This young man's riding with some serious intensity right now.
Jake Weimer battling with Albertson. They're fighting over 6th position right now.
This is basically a whole lap, maybe more, that Weimer has been behind Albertson. There's a triple to the inside. If you want to move up positions, you cannot be messing around with these riders.
Boy, he really struggled through there, but then Albertson made an even bigger mistake. This is the man out front, the points leader, Ryan Dungey. 2.5 seconds in front of Brian Morais.
Boy, does Dungey have something to prove after last season? He won the event here, but he did not win the championship. This is that stage of the season where he's trying to draw from that experience, and getting to start riding these clean laps out front is exactly what Dungey needs to do in his quest for the West Coast Lights Championship.
Dungey saw that championship slip away to Jason Lawrence. Morais sitting in 2nd. Jeffy's 11 points behind his teammate, Jake Weimer, in the, well, actually less than 11 points, about 9 behind in the battle between 2nd and 3rd in the championship. So he's really going to close in on Weimer, who's losing lots of ground to Dungey here tonight.
Well, this race is far from over, and I got the feeling that you're going to see Jake Weimer up on the podium by the end of this thing, but he is really going to have to work for it. As our leaders, last time around, Dungey was a 54.9, Morais 54.8, so he was quicker. Canard at 54.8. Both the riders in 2nd, 3rd, just a click quicker than our leaders. So this one isn't over. This is going to come down to it. And remember, like I always say, once you get into those lap riders, it's easier to be the 2nd or 3rd guy past the lappers than it is the 1st guy.
Trey Canard, his best finish of the year at 3rd. He's sitting in 3rd right now, and Weimer charging to the front. Getting around Hall.
Nice
put him up into 5th.
Nice move for Weimer here. Look at him tiptoeing around there. Doesn't want to give Hall the chance to retaliate, get the position back. Weimer riding some wide lines coming into those turns there. Now there, and Hall makes a slight mistake. That's gonna drop him back, but that definitely.
Albertson right there on the 47. Watching Weimer. He's got a ways to go now to catch up to Jake Moss. Meanwhile, Ryan Dungey, the Rockstar Makita Suzuki rider, came into the season. Everybody thought he was the guy in this class, Jeff, and here at the penultimate round, he's doing everything he can to put himself in a position to make those predictions come true for this championship.
Well, in last lap around, once again, Morais and Canard, couple tenths of a second faster than our leader. Look at Canard. He is the one that is pressuring Morais here. He is totally going for it. He's got nothing to lose. He's not in the championship points battle. It's all about race wins for him. And he's got the luxury of riding some wide lines here where Morais is protecting the inside. See, there's Canard. Doubles that. Let's see if he gets a little drive out of one of those outside cushions.
One of the best rides we've seen all season by the reigning East Coast champ.
Uh-oh, gets a little sideways there. Morais.
That really allowed Trey Canard to close back up.
Well, Canard's running a little bit cleaner than what Morais is right now. After all that pressure that Trey Canard was putting on Morais, you wonder if that's starting to affect his riding right now.
Here he comes to the inside, Canard.
Pulls the tear off.
Not able to do anything with him just yet. Past the halfway point.
So that time around, our leader, Dungey, he was quicker, 54.9. Morais and Canard have dropped off. They're in the 55s, not too far behind. Oh, Canard's down.
Boy, you know, that's been his problem here tonight, Jeff. He ran so good in the heat. Looked like maybe he was going to take that win, and then he had a problem and fell down there as well. And the same situation finds Trey Canard here in the main event. No problem so far for the man at the top of the points. Ryan Dungey leads it. Point here in Qwest Field, the penultimate round for the West Coast Championship in Supercross Lites, and Ryan Dungey. Oh, up until right then, Jeff, a pretty flawless run through the main.
Well, it is going to be difficult. You can see those ruts really starting to form as he comes past the mechanics area. You see those numbers on there. He was giving Ryan his lap times because he's out front by himself. Focus on the lap times. That is what's most important. Don't think about anything else that is behind you or anything else going on. Focus on your ride and, you know, perfect laps. And he'll take the win.
Jake Weimer right now focused on getting around Moss, which is for fourth position. Actually now becomes, yeah, still for fourth, even though Canard's had his issues.
Well, here they go. You see Moss tripling in, gaining a half a bike length there. Weimer really has been, he's been careful in passing riders. He hasn't been all out aggressive. He hasn't made his passes quickly. He's taking a long time to get past these riders that he's caught up to quickly, but
here he comes. Oh, I thought that was going to be it. Even there, Jeff, not a very aggressive move, was it? But it's going to work at the end of that whoop section. Weimer takes the position away. Here's the finish line jump, and timing and scoring credits him with fourth position now. Well, Canard still holds on to third, and here's a look at the points. Every position helping him out. But as he said at the beginning of the show, he really needs wins.
Wins is what it's all about. This isn't going to get it done. And Weimer here tonight, it really has boiled down to his starts, heat and the main.
And he's 5 seconds behind Trey Canard now, with 5 to go.
5 to go. We have to keep an eye out on those lap times. But last time around, Weimer was at a 56.6. Canard, who's just in front of him, was a second a lap faster. Moss, though, had that great start. He's keeping it on two wheels, putting in a great ride. Just inside the top 5 here. Got to have to be more than happy with this ride here tonight.
Weimer, unfortunately, right now ties his season's worst finish. He had a 4th at Phoenix, and that's where he runs right now. Here's Trey Canard. Well, let's go back and take a look at how he crashed.
Well, this is in the first turn area. This is earlier when he was pressing Morais. And watch him get in here on the front wheel. Just loses traction, gets into some of that soft, cushy stuff, lays it over. He was really aggressive, laying the bike over, trusting that the soil would hold and the tires would dig in, and they didn't. They just screwed right along the top of that. Consequently, it's dropped him back. He's still running third, but really lost that pressure that he had on second.
Ryan Dungey has not finished worse than 4th this year. That was in Anaheim 3. He's going to have a lot of momentum going into Salt Lake City. He had that win in San Diego, which was the last round before the big break, while we finished off the East Coast Championship, which Christophe Pourcel won. He comes back after the lengthy break, finds himself right where he left off, back out front.
Well, he has put in a great ride here, and when it's championship time, I'm telling you, he has rose to the occasion. There's a rider down over the triple. You see Dungey going single, single, single.
It's Ryan Sykes on the 31.
Now you see Dungey really start to get into the thick of these lappers. He's got 3 right in front of him. And you'll notice the blue flag waving with the yellow cross. That's the lapper flag.
And Jeff, what a difference this year with Ryan Dungey. You know, as you mentioned earlier, how he watched the championship slip away from him to Jason Lawrence a year ago. What a difference a season has made for him on the maturity side. And what he learned from that and how he's put it all together. He's such a different rider this year. Last year he was very, very fast, but as the pressure built, he seemed to get more and more out of control. Crashes took him out, and the points slipped away, but not so this year.
He was just trying so hard last year. There really wasn't bad blood between Jason Lawrence and Ryan Dungey, and he just really overrode the tracks, overrode everything. And you see this year, he hasn't made any big mistakes. His worst finish is a 4th. Okay, well inside the top 5 there. Last year, he just had some moments where it was a complete meltdown. And I'm very proud of Ryan of how he handled that last year and how he's rebounded from that and built his career now this year. With 1 to go, he's well on his way to a championship very shortly.
For Dungey, this will be his 4th win of the season. And you got to start wondering about Ryan Dungey and what's next in his career.
Well, if he's able to win this championship next weekend in Salt Lake, the title defense would be next in line as far as Supercross is concerned. But this thing isn't over. It's not over until the final checkered flag. And these riders know that. That's why they stay so, focused all the way.
Well, he will wrap up his championship attempt, possibly stand on the top step of the podium next week in Salt Lake City as the Supercross Lites West Coast champ. You'll see that race here on Speed. Of course, then we move on to Vegas, where we'll bring the East and the West Coast together, and that's going to be quite a battle. Here we go to the checkered flag, and his 4th win of 2009 goes to the points leader, Ryan Dungey. Jake Weimer making his way to the checkered flag. Morais will take 2nd. Canard gets 3rd. Weimer takes 4th. And the points will definitely change here in Seattle. A big step towards the championship tonight for Ryan Dungey.
No doubt about it, Ralph. That was some points there that are going to allow him a little bit of cushion in this final round. You got to think he's going to try to win out, but it sure is a good feeling to have that points cushion.
The gate dropped and Dungey went right to the front. Meanwhile, the pro circuit guys had troubles behind him, so did Canard, but Dungey, no problems as he took the win. We'll talk to him when we come back. Welcome back to Seattle. Let's head down to the victory podium. Here's Aaron with a very disappointed Jake Weimer.
It was a frustrating night for sure for Jake Weimer. Jake, kind of a lost opportunity for you this evening. How do you regroup, and what's your strategy for next weekend?
I don't know, honestly. I mean, there's not really a way to regroup from that, so I don't know.
I think that pretty much says it all. He sees the championship slipping away, and Jake Weimer as frustrated as you can be.
Well, let's take a look at this whole shot replay, and it was a tough one all the way through here. You see number 10, he gets there first, but right across the stripe, it's actually Trey Canard on the Geico Honda.
Taking a look at the results now from the main event here in Dungey over Morais, Canard, and Weimer. Jeff Alessi comes home in 10th. Chris Bloss had a very good night, ends up finishing 8th. And we go back down to Aaron, and this time I got a funny feeling the look is going to be a little bit different, Aaron.
Might be slipping away for Jake Weimer, but Ryan Dungey is all smiles, celebrating your 4th win of the season. This is where the championship slipped away from you last year. How much did it fuel the fire coming in this year?
A lot. I worked hard, and last year it was a bummer. It just hurt down deep inside, and I never want to feel like that again. So I'm just glad Team Rockstar Makita Suzuki put in a great ride, and couldn't be more thankful.
Congratulations on being one step closer to that championship.
Well, he's really looking forward to Salt Lake next week, and then after that, we go to Vegas, and that's where we're going to have the big shootout between the East and the West from Sam Boyd Stadium. You'll see it here on Speed. Here is the points difference going into the final round. Weimer now 9 behind Dungey. He's also got to worry about his teammate closing in from 3rd. Here's Aaron.
Well, it was a tough night for Trey Canard. Trey, you had managed to make yourself into the main event, but then once again up on the podium. How difficult was it tonight to get some traction out there?
I had a couple mistakes, but I'm riding a lot better than I was at the beginning of the season, so that's all that counts. And I won't say too much because I always get in trouble for talking too much, but got to thank the Lord Jesus Christ. Can't thank him enough. Geico Power Sports, Fox, Unbound, Shoei Helmets, Greg, Shannon, Mike, everyone, thanks a lot.
For Chad Reed and James Stewart, an epic battle for the Supercross title is on, and you can't afford to miss a race. Now with Speed On Demand online, get caught up on the action or relive the biggest moments. Just log on to speedtv.com, keyword Kawasaki, to watch the 2009 races online on demand anytime, exclusively on speedtv.com. Let's go back to Aaron.
Well, for some guys, having some time off means that they lose their motivation or their momentum, but this is definitely not the case for Ryan Morais. This was about rejuvenation period for you. What did you work on your time off to come out swinging?
I worked on, my first couple laps sprinting, and me and Ryan hit pretty hard coming out of the gate, and, it took me a little bit to get going, and he was kind of gone by the time I got going, so I just tried really hard, and my Monster Pro Circuit Kawasaki bike just was amazing out there, and I can't thank those guys enough.
Well, this championship fight will move on to Salt Lake City, Rice Eccles Stadium. You'll see it next week here on Speed, April 26, 2 p.m. And Ryan Dungey wrap up the championship. Everybody thought he would win this year.
Well, it is his chance at redemption after what happened last season. For Jake Weimer, he really has to come to Salt Lake with his A game, have a slight chance at winning, but Ryan Dungey, really proud of his ride tonight. Fantastic.
Great weekend here in the Seattle area. Championship moving on to Salt Lake City. First time we've been back there in a long time. For Aaron Bates, Jeff Emmett, I'm Ralph Shaheen. So long from the Emerald City, Seattle, Washington, where Ryan Dungey has taken another win and extended the points lead. Congratulations, Ryan.